Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's incredibly important topic, I want you to take a moment and think about your financial situation. Really think about it. Are you comfortable? Are you stressed? Are you somewhere in between? Because today, we're going to discuss something that could fundamentally change your financial reality, a groundbreaking new bill that could put $5,400 in your pocket in a matter of days. Yes, you heard that right, $5,400, delivered in two separate payments of $2,700 each. I know what you're thinking, it sounds too good to be true. But stick with me because this isn't just another headline or clickbait promise. This is real legislation, proposed by Senator Bernie Sanders, and it could affect millions of Americans who rely on Social Security and SSDI. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll have all the information you need to understand exactly what this means for you and your family. Before we get into the meat of this discussion, I want to take a second to connect with our community. If you're new here, welcome. This channel is dedicated to helping hardworking Americans navigate the often complicated world of government benefits, financial opportunities, and economic news that directly affects your wallet. If you find value in staying informed and being part of a community that looks out for each other, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're in this together, and I don't want you to miss a single update that could impact your financial future. Now, let's paint a picture of where we are right now in America. Imagine walking into your local grocery store. You grab your usual items, some bread, eggs, milk, maybe some fresh produce. You head to the checkout, and suddenly you're hit with sticker shock. The total is nearly double what you used to pay just a couple of years ago. This isn't just happening at the grocery store. It's happening at the gas pump, in the housing market, with utility bills, and especially in healthcare costs. For those living on fixed incomes, particularly Social Security recipients, this isn't just an inconvenience, it's a crisis. This is where Bernie Sanders' new bill comes in, and it's unlike anything we've seen before. Let's break down exactly what's being proposed, why it matters, and most importantly, how you can make sure you don't miss out on these payments if the bill passes. But first, I want to share a story that really drives home why this legislation is so crucial. Last week, I received an email from Margaret, one of our longtime subscribers. Margaret is 73 years old and has been living on Social Security for the past 8 years. She worked as a teacher for over 3 decades, saved what she could, and did everything right. But despite her careful planning, she's finding herself having to choose between filling her prescriptions and keeping her heat on during the winter months. Margaret's story isn't unique. It's being repeated millions of times across our country, and it's exactly why this bill has been introduced. The proposed legislation isn't just another band-aid solution. It's a recognition that our current system isn't adequately supporting some of our most vulnerable citizens. Those $5,400 payments, split into 2 installments of $2,700, represent more than just money. They represent dignity, security, and a chance to catch up in an economy that seems to be leaving too many people behind. Let's talk about the scope of this bill for a moment. It's not just targeting a small subset of beneficiaries. This is comprehensive legislation aimed at helping anyone who receives Social Security retirement benefits, SSDI, IA, or related programs. We're talking about retirees who worked their whole lives and deserve to age with dignity. We're talking about disabled individuals who face additional costs and challenges in their daily lives. We're talking about survivors who depend on these benefits to keep their families afloat after losing a loved one. But here's something crucial that you need to understand. Eligibility for these payments isn't automatic. Yes, you might qualify based on your current benefits, but there are specific steps you need to take to ensure you actually receive the money when and if this bill passes. And that's exactly what we're going to cover next. First and foremost, your payment information needs to be up to date and properly set up. If you're already receiving your monthly benefits through direct deposit, you're on the right track, but don't stop there. Take 5 minutes today to log into your My Social Security account and verify that your banking information is current. I cannot stress this enough. We've seen cases where outdated banking information has caused significant delays in people receiving their benefits. And with these special payments scheduled to go out just 5 days after the bill's passage, you cannot afford any delays. For those of you who don't have a My Social Security account yet, let me walk you through the process of setting one up. It's completely free, and it's actually easier than you might think. You'll need your Social Security number, a valid email address, and a U.S. mailing address. Head to the Social Security Administration's website. We'll put the link in the description below and click on Create an Account. The system will guide you through a series of verification questions to ensure your identity, and within about 10 minutes, you'll have full access to your account. Now, what about those who don't have a traditional bank account? The Social Security Administration has thought of this too, and that's where the Direct Express card comes in. This is a prepaid debit card specifically designed for federal benefit recipients, and it's a perfectly valid way to receive these special payments. If you're interested in this option, don't worry, we'll walk you through that process too. But let's go deeper into the why behind this bill, because understanding the context is crucial. Over the past few years, we've seen unprecedented challenges to Americans' financial security. The pandemic exposed and exacerbated existing inequalities. Inflation hit levels we haven't seen in decades. The cost of housing has skyrocketed in most parts of the country. And through all of this, Social Security benefits, while essential, haven't kept pace with the real cost of living. Here's a startling statistic. According to recent studies, the purchasing power of Social Security benefits has declined by 40% since 2000. Think about that for a moment. The money that was supposed to provide security in retirement is worth significantly less than it was just a couple of decades ago. This isn't just a number on a page, it represents real hardship for real people. The $5,400 figure in this bill wasn't chosen at random. It represents a calculated attempt to provide meaningful relief that can actually make a difference in people's lives. It's enough to help catch up on overdue bills, make necessary home repairs, or create a small emergency fund. For many recipients, it could mean the difference between stability and crisis. Let me share another story that illustrates why this matters so much. James, a 58-year-old SSDI recipient from Ohio, reached out to us last month. Before his disability forced him to stop working, James was a construction worker. He prided himself on being self-sufficient and never asking for help. But with medication costs rising and utility bills eating up more and more of his monthly benefit, he found himself having to visit food banks for the first time in his life. James told me that the hardest part wasn't the physical act of asking for help. It was feeling like he had somehow failed despite playing by all the rules. This is why Bernie Sanders' bill is about more than just money. It's about restoring dignity to millions of Americans like James who have contributed to our society and deserve better than to struggle in their retirement or disability. It's about recognizing that our social safety net needs strengthening, not weakening. Now, let's address some of the questions I've been seeing in the comments section of our previous videos. Many of you have asked about the timing of these payments and how they might affect other benefits you receive. This is crucial information, so pay close attention. First, regarding timing, if the bill passes, and we'll talk about those prospects in a moment, the payments are designed to be distributed quickly. The legislation includes specific language requiring the Social Security Administration to begin sending out the first $2,700 payment within 5 days of the bill becoming law. The second payment would follow approximately 1 month later. This rapid distribution timeline is intentional, recognizing the urgent need for financial relief. But here's something important that many people don't realize. These payments would not count as income for the purpose of determining eligibility for other federal or state benefits. This means that receiving these payments would not affect your eligibility for programs like SNAP food stamps, Medicaid, or housing assistance. This was specifically written into the bill to ensure that those who need help the most don't have to choose between these emergency payments and their other essential benefits. Let's talk about the practical impact these payments could have. I want you to imagine for a moment what $5,400 could mean for your situation. Would it allow you to finally fix that leaking roof? Could it help you catch up on medical bills that have been piling up? Maybe it would give you the breathing room to stock up on groceries when they're on sale, saving money in the long run. Or perhaps it would simply provide peace of mind, knowing you have a cushion for emergencies. I want to emphasize something important: your story matters. Whether this bill passes or not, the challenges faced by Social Security recipients are real and deserve attention. That's why I encourage you to share your experiences in the comments below. What would these payments mean for you? How are you managing in the current economic climate? Your stories help others feel less alone, and they help us understand the real impact of policies like this. As we wrap up this extended discussion, let me remind you of a few key points. First, make sure your direct deposit information is up to date through your My Social Security account. Second, be vigilant about scams. Remember, legitimate information about these payments will come directly from the Social Security Administration. Third, stay informed about the progress of this bill, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. But beyond these practical steps, I want to leave you with a message of hope. Yes, times are challenging. Yes, the cost of living is rising faster than many can keep up with. But there are people fighting for change, and your voice matters in this fight. Whether through calling your representatives, sharing your story, or simply supporting others in your community,